sports fans? Welcome to Super Sports Central. Today, we're going to be going over 10 USFL players who deserve a chance in the NFL. So starting off with a quick honorable mention, and that is Generals punter Brock Miller. But beginning with the first of our 10 players, which is the most obvious, Stallions quarterback Alex McGough. So McGough, as I just said, is the most obvious player from the USFL that deserves a chance in the NFL. He won USFL League MVP and is a tremendous dual-threat quarterback, and he's a big reason why the Stallions won the USFL Championship. He had a great season with 2,104 passing yards and 20 passing touchdowns, and also just 5 interceptions. Plus, he added 403 rushing yards and also 5 rushing touchdowns. And his 25 total touchdowns tie a modern spring football record. And McGough also had a ridiculous postseason, as in 2 games in the USFL playoffs, he threw for 552 yards and 8 touchdowns, and rushed for another 148 yards. And now this stat from the playoffs shows just how good Alex McGough was, specifically in the postseason, but he was essentially this good all season long. So, McGough played 2 games in the playoffs. He had 8 passing touchdowns and did not throw an interception. The other 3 playoff teams combined for 5 passing touchdowns and 3 interceptions. So, McGough has been incredible for the Stallions, and he 100% deserves an NFL opportunity. Next player who I think deserves an NFL opportunity is Stars wide receiver Corey Coleman. So, Coleman was once an NFL first-round draft pick, and he showed he deserves another chance in the NFL after this year's season in the USFL. Coleman was the best receiver in the league. He had 51 catches for a modern USFL record, 669 yards, and also 4 receiving touchdowns. Plus, he was a pretty dynamic punt returner and provided the Stars with a few big and key punt returns, and Corey Coleman definitely deserves a second NFL opportunity. Next player is Gamblers running back Mark Thompson. So, Thompson was unbelievable this season, putting up ridiculous numbers and only playing in 8 games. So, in 8 games, he ran for 653 yards and a modern USFL record 14 touchdowns. And he wasn't just getting the ball at the 1-yard line for all his touchdowns, because he averaged 4.8 yards a carry. And his advanced stats are even better. He forced a league-high 45 missed tackles, and also, according to Pro Football Focus, he had 3.7 yards after contact per carry. So Thompson is definitely a player who deserves an NFL look after a record-setting USFL season. Next player is Frank Ginda, linebackers from the Panthers. So, Ginda is the reigning Defensive Player of the Year for the USFL. He's coming off a monster season where he had a league-high 104 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, a sack, and 3 interceptions. And he was a massive part of the Panthers' success, especially defensively. He was their defensive signal caller and leader on the defensive side of the ball, and he definitely deserves an NFL chance. Next player is another linebacker. It is Kayava Tizino of the Maulers. So, he was tremendous for the Maulers. I think he should have won Defensive Player of the Year, but Tizino was an all-USFL linebacker, finished the season with 94 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 6 passes defended, and 2 interceptions, so he can really do it all. He can get to the backfield, stop the run. He's very good in coverage as well, and obviously a good tackler with 94 tackles on the season, second in the USFL. And he was a huge reason why the Maulers' defense was the best in the USFL. He was extremely consistent the entire season, and I would be absolutely shocked if Kayava Tizino didn't get an NFL opportunity after this past season. Next player is another Mauler and another linebacker. It is Reuben Foster. So Foster is a former NFL first-round draft pick, and he had a great season with the Maulers in his first year in the USFL. He had 53 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and an interception. Now, he was limited to 8 of the 10 games in the regular season. He also played 2 playoff games. But he was limited to 8 of 10 regular season games because of injuries, which is definitely a reason he found himself out of the NFL in the first place. But Foster showed he's still a good player when on the field, and he was healthy for the majority of the season, and I think Reuben Foster deserves another opportunity. Next player is another Mauler. It is a kick returner / wide receiver Isaiah Henney. So Henney was a dynamic playmaker for the Maulers on offense and special teams. He had 66 catches for 474 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also rushed for 50 yards, and as a punt returner, Henney had a league-leading 297 yards and also led the USFL in average yards per punt return with 17.5. Plus, Henney was the only player to have a punt return touchdown. Now, Henney is very small, only 5'7", but I think NFL teams could be interested with how good he is with the ball in his hands, and I could definitely see him getting an NFL opportunity. Next player is Jace Sternberger, tight end from the Stallions. So, Sternberger is another player who used to be in the NFL, and he used a great USFL season to show he still should be in the in the NFL. He was a great weapon for the Stallions. At one point, he was their go-to target. But Sternberger finished the season with 517 yards and a league-high 7 touchdowns. So I definitely think it's very clear Jace Sternberger deserves another NFL chance. Next player is another Stallion pass catcher. That is Davion Davis. So he was a playmaker for the Stallions offense. He actually started the season as a, quote, backup, but became a really good player for the Stallions. Finished second in the USFL with 575 receiving yards and also had 4 receiving touchdowns. He was good after the catch with 282 yards. And Davion Davis is another dynamic wide receiver that deserves an NFL opportunity. But unlike Isaiah Henney, he's not ridiculously small at like Henney's 5'7". Davion Davis is 5'11", so I could definitely see him getting even more looks from the NFL. And our final player who I think deserves an NFL opportunity is Breeland Speaks, an edge rusher from the Michigan Panthers. So Speaks used to be in the NFL. He was expected to be an elite player for the Panthers, and he was exactly that. He had a league-high 9 sacks, had 53 tackles and 6 tackles for loss, and Breeland Speaks was a force along the defensive line for the Panthers, and he deserves another NFL opportunity. So those are 10 players, 10 USFL players I think deserve a chance in the NFL. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn notifications so much after upcoming videos. Let me know in the comments if you agree with 10 players, if you think I missed anybody, or if you think somebody shouldn't be on this list. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn notifications so I do my best to post as often as possible, and I will see you in the next video.